For the Georgia Gym Dogs, every meet is an educational experience. The loser does the learning, and the winner does the teaching. Class is now in session. Stay tuned. The SEC Championship highlights are next.
And the Dogs D is done.
Dog Show is brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Yocklin. Welcome to the Gym Dog Show. With me today is Associate Head Coach Jay Clark, and we just returned from the SEC Championships, which were held this past weekend in Little Rock, Arkansas. It was a close competition to the very end, but unfortunately for us, Florida came out on top, and we finished in second place. What do you think, Jay, about the competition?
Well, you know, anytime you go into these competitions, there's not a lot of wiggle room for errors, and we certainly made our fair share. And when you don't do your job, you typically aren't going to win, not in the Southeastern Conference where you had the top 4 teams in the nation coming into that competition, and everybody really kind of within just a few tenths of each other anyway. And we certainly did not perform up to what our expectations were going into the meet, and not up to the level that we'd been training at for the last couple of weeks.
That's right. We really had some great training, and we really felt like we addressed our problems on the floor exercise prior to going to SECs, but that's where our problems were once again. As a matter of fact, we won 3 events in the competition, vault, bars, and beam, but unfortunately the mistakes and the problems that we had on floor exercise cost us the competition. You've got to say, though, and give a lot of credit to Florida. They did what they've been doing the entire year. They were consistent. You know, nothing really flashy on any one particular event, but they were consistent all the way throughout the meet, whereas we had ups and downs and, you know, had to keep, you know, chasing the score and chasing Florida.
Sure, and again, it's not to take anything away from the Gators, because they, as you stated, they did their job, and they have done so all year long. They've been the most consistent team in the country. You know, that said, we still are going to be disappointed with the fact that we underachieved, and we have not completed a meet to the level that this team is capable of at this point.
So it was a disappointing competition, and, you know, we've got to rally now for the next one. But before that, let's take a look at the SEC Championships in Little Rock, Arkansas. And here we are at Alltel Arena in Little Rock, Arkansas, competing for our 16th SEC Championships. Georgia, in the random draw, drew balance beam as their first event, as our first event, and here is Grace Taylor in the leadoff position. She has been averaging a 9.85 the entire season on this event and is very solid. Our team has so much confidence in Grace, and here you can see that there are no problems at all as she mounts the beam, does a flight in her leap series. Now's another one of her connections, a horizontal turn into an immediate gainer layout. She does a front aerial, solid. So far there are no deductions at all for Grace. She's had a great routine. She gets ready to dismount, a double twist dismount with a hop on the landing, and she scores a 9.875, which is a terrific start for Georgia.
Nikki Child's up next, and this is Nikki's best performance so far at an SEC championship on this event, as you'll see. And Nikki starts there with her series, no deduction there. She's moving very well on the balance beam, and that's one thing that I think is characteristic of the Georgia team, is that we work the balance beam probably as good or better than anybody else in the country. All the girls do beam on toe, and their grace and their dance is accentuated much more so than you see a lot of other teams. You'll see much more choppy routines with a lot of skills. Nikki's dismount there, pretty solid there on the landing, and a 9.875 for her, so we're off and rolling at this point.
What a great start so far, and here in the third position is Tiffany Tolnay. She has scored in the 9.9s a couple times this season. Usually her problems come with her dismount. There's a beautiful switch side leap, which she is known for the amplitude in that leap. And here's her flight, very high, again, no deduction. Her front tuck, which is her front salto, maybe a quarter of a tenth there, half a tenth at the most. She so far has performed very well on the beam, no major wobbles at all. And now she sets up for her dismount, which is a back handspring, double tuck dismount, nice and high, barely takes a step with a score of 9.9, a beautiful routine for Tiffany.
Courtney McCool starts off with her signature mount. So far, so good, but we're about to see the start of a little bit of a long night for this freshman. She starts into her series here. It's a 3 series of flip-flop, layout, And as you can see on the second layout, the back foot slips as she brings it in, and she's off the beam, and that's going to cost us. She goes 9.3.
And now we've got Courtney Kupets right up behind Courtney McCool. And Courtney Kupets is very, very solid on this event, and she is ice in the veins. She's rarely bothered by any mistakes anyone else makes, so it's good that she follows Courtney McCool. The team cannot count a fall and stay in the meet, so we've got one fall, obviously cannot afford to have another one. So far, so good from Courtney Kupets. And she's finishing up here with a switch sweep to a gainer layout, and then her dismount is next. Another back handspring, double tuck dismount. Let's watch the landing here. She takes a step and then another step. So she probably got deducted for 2 steps, and she scores only a 9.825. Very disappointing.
Katie Heenan rounding out as our anchor, and we can't ask for a better person to be in this spot, particularly when there's a fall ahead of her, because she's shown the ability to really be able to hit under pressure. You can see there she's very solid on her series. Straddle jump to sheep jump, very difficult leap combination there. Punch front to a wolf jump. Katie just does her job day in and day out. Nails the dismount and goes 9.9, and that's exactly the kind of solid performance we needed to finish up a beam rotation that had a fall earlier in it.
So now we're marching over to the floor exercise event. We had a great start on beam with a 49.375.
And Kelsey Erickson, the senior, up next for us. We really need her to right the ship. This is only the second routine she's done to this point since coming back from her foot injury. You can see there's a large lunge there on that pass, and she drags that front foot just a bit, which can be a deduction. Very nice on the front full in the middle. And she finishes up here with a double tuck. Right off back handspring, double back. And another big lunge there where that front foot kind of comes up off the floor and goes 9.825, but that's certainly an improvement over the 9.675 that we just had.
And now we've got Katie Heenan. You know, after Kelsey's score, we're a little disappointed and a little flat. I expected Kelsey's routine to actually score higher than that. But here comes Katie, and she is solid as ever on her first tumbling pass, which is an E plus bonus. Her middle tumbling pass is second, and this is typically very solid for Katie as well. So far, we have a good routine from her. And Katie's last pass is a double pike. Now, this is where the question mark comes in because she's been out injured for 2 weeks. Hopefully, she has the endurance to nail it, and she does. Just a beautiful routine from Katie. And she scores a 9.9 and gets us back on track with the level and the kind of scores that we need to win a championship.
Here's Tiffany Tolnay, and you'll see right off the bat, right here, Tiffany's going to give us the second out-of-bounds deduction. Right there, she hops and out of control on the first Arabian double front. Floor was very bouncy, and she was having a difficult time adjusting to that in warm-ups. So not terribly surprised that it happened because it did happen in warm-ups. Beautiful front full. The good thing here is that Tiffany maintains her composure and finishes the routine very solidly. As you can see right there, a great double pike to finish. She goes 9.7, but a big deduction and an out of bounds on that first pass cost her.
And now here's Courtney McCool. She has to put behind her the fall and the problem that she had on balance beam, but she seems a little distracted. Her first pass is nice, no deduction there at all. She seems like she's in the competition and into the routine. Here's her middle pass, just a small deduction there, 1/2 a tenth, but overall strong. But here comes the problem. She runs way too far down the floor, does her last pass, and another out of bounds for Georgia, and a score of only 9.725 from Courtney. Those out of bounds are absolutely killing us.
And to finish up, Courtney Kupets. She opens with a beautiful double Arabian. She lands very well. She does stay in bounds. She had some out of bounds trouble in warm-ups as well. Here's where her problem is. That's supposed to be her front 1.5. That's 1/10 deduction off of her routine for compositional for that middle pass. She does finish strong with a good double pike, but a 9.875 that could have been a 9.975, and so a nightmare of a rotation for us as we finish on floor with a 49.025, which keeps us at a 98.4, 1.175 behind the Florida Gators.
The Jim Dog Show is brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia. By Makar Homes. Makar Homes, built with passion for over 50 years. Brown Arrowhead Clinic. Arrowhead Clinic, Georgia's largest spinal health care organization. By Athens Regional Medical Center. At Athens Regional, we have a specialty. You. By the John Bull Stores of the Bahamas. John Bull, the shopping mecca of the Caribbean. And by Phil Hughes Honda. Phil Hughes Honda, the official car dealer of the Georgia Gym Dogs.
One look and you'll be captivated. The all-new Honda CR-V. Everything has been redesigned from the exterior to the amenity-rich interior. Indulge your senses with elements like leather, navigation, an updated engine with better power, gas mileage, and cleaner emissions. Drive with confidence. It's also been awarded the top safety pick for its class. The Honda CR-V. It's the SUV you've been craving. Visit Phil Hughes Honda on the Atlanta Highway, Athens.
Makar Homes is proud to announce its 50th anniversary. With passion for quality, Makar is committed to customer satisfaction before, during, and after building your home. With over 40 communities around Atlanta, Makar has a plan and neighborhood for any lifestyle, from affordable townhomes to luxurious estates. For more information, visit www.makarhomes.com. Makar Homes, built with passion for over 50 years.
Ask Suzanne, brought to you by Makar Homes. And this week's question is, has a Georgia team ever lost the SEC title but won the NCAA championships? And the answer is yes. In 1989, we lost the SEC championships and won the national title at home here in Athens. That's Ask Suzanne, brought to you by Makar Homes.
So we're headed over to the vault now. We've dug ourselves a hole once again, and we've got to dig ourselves out. And Suzanne, actually, vaulting is probably a good place if we've got to dig ourselves out of something. Being the #1 team in the nation on vaulting, that's probably a good place for us to be. But we're down at over a 10th and a half.
And I think we're in 3rd place right now. Alabama's ahead of us also. Right. So, you know, coming out of being feeling great, now after floor, chasing the leaders. You know, it's not where we want to be. But like you said, vaulting is strong for us. Let's see what we do there.
Kelsey Erickson up 2nd. This is her 3rd vault since she came back from the foot injury. Pretty good vault there. A little bit closer to the horse than the one she warmed up, but just a small step there on the landing. From this angle here, though, this looks like a pretty nice vault. Very high off the table. Just the step there on the landing, 9.825. That probably could have gone a little higher.
And here's Courtney Kupets with her Yurchenko half turn. Front pike up and open and stuck. That was a 10 if I ever saw it. A beautiful vault. She got 2 10s from 2 of the judges, 2.995, so her score was 9.975. But look at the height on this vault. Perfect form coming off the horse. She opens into the landing. You cannot do that vault any better than that. And that was exactly what we need right here as a big score.
So we're fighting our way back, and Katie Heenan is just the person to go in this spot. Beautiful high Yurchenko double full. That was a Yurchenko full that she nails. And so we're getting a little momentum going. You can feel it down there in the corral. I'm down there in the corral with the team, and you're starting to feel them really scratch and claw their way back into this meet. And what a great vault there from Katie. 9.95 on that vault. It's just what we needed. We need to finish up strong here.
And here's Ashley Kupets and a big, huge step forward, at least a 10th and a half deduction. We were really hoping Ashley would stick one. She's been sticking in the gym, so this is a disappointment. She certainly is capable of sticking a vault, and unfortunately does not, and scores a 9.825.
Now Tiffany Tolnay in our anchor spot. Big Yurchenko full, just the step there on the, but she does control it, so it shouldn't be more than a 1/10 deduction. The biggest vault of the night. It is absolutely the largest vault. When she comes off the table, you can see the table almost disappears from the picture there. And she gets a 9.9. If she can stick that, it's going to win every time. So we're at a 147.875, as is Florida now, because they went to Ballast Beam and went 49.3, so we're back in it.
Now we see Florida in their final rotation on floor. Ooh, a big hop there from Savannah Evans on her first tumbling pass. Here's her middle tumbling pass, 1.5 front full, and she lunges forward, which should be an 0.5 deduction. And her last tumbling pass, I believe, a double tuck, unstep there. But the biggest deduction was on the first pass, but she still scores a 9.85.
Corey Hartung, and remember, we're on a bye right now, so we're kind of sitting back and watching this. There's a triple full, a little bit short coming around, but very nice with the legs, no cross of the legs there. Front double full in the middle. Corey's very much a twister, a lot like our Courtney McCool, and a whip immediate double full. And she goes 9.9 on floor exercise, and Florida's really starting to build now.
And here's Amanda Castillo, their freshman. Beautiful piked full end to start. I would have no deduction on that. It was legs together and really high. Here's her middle pass, a whip to a double pike, Again, very nicely done. And her last tumbling pass is another double pike. A little bigger lunge there. That was probably her deduction. She scores a 9.95 and a great routine, a great rotation for Florida on floor.
Hi, my name is Cami. Marcia, what is the difference between club and college gymnastics?
Thanks for the question. For as to whether the difference between college and club gymnastics, college is much funner. It's very team-oriented. Everybody supports each other, and you can go out and have fun rather than be so much pressure on you. It's like the team effort because everyone has your back, and it's just really fun.
You've been injured in a car crash. You won't get the money you deserve if your injuries haven't been properly treated and, most important, documented. At Arrowhead Clinics, we've been treating and documenting the injuries of car accident victims for years. We are the experts, and we provide the best treatment and documentation available for your injuries. It's already been several hours since your accident. Don't delay. Your injuries must be properly documented. So make the call now, because the first thing you need to do is get treatment. Arrowhead is the leader.
Drop by drop. A trickle becomes a stream, flowing from the source, refreshing, fresh, in the store or at your door. Millwood Springs.
Florida, being the #1 team in the nation, went over there and closed out the meet, and it was the one event of the entire night that they actually won. The other events they were third, second, and third on, but we're going to bars now knowing exactly what we have to have. I'm not sure if all the girls on the team know what that score is, but they do know that they've got to do some of their best routines in order for us to have a chance to win. And as you'll see, we get off to a pretty good start with the first couple of routines, and then a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes come along, and we've come up just about a 1/10.5 short, but we put ourselves in this position. We dug our way back to a tie, and now we've got an opportunity to still win the meet. And so you still feel pretty good about where you are at this point.
You know, we've been practicing 49.5 as a drill in practice for the last couple of weeks, that the team needs to score 49.5 in order to rotate to the next event in practice. So here we are, you know, in a situation that we have practiced over and over and over again, and it is a score we can get. We are not out of the competition at all. We are in the race, so let's see what happens on the uneven bars. We know we need a 49.45 to tie the meet. Nikki Childs starts us out, and she is capable of a big score if she hits her dismount. So far, everything is looking good. She's hitting her handstands. We love starting out with Nikki because she does such good handstands on the bars, and that is a big part of the score. So far, she's in every position she needs to be in. There's a lot of pressure on the team. Some of the girls know exactly what we need to score. A 49.45 is a 9.9 average. There's a small deduction. This is where we need the dismount, and she takes a step, and that's a 1/10 deduction. We score a 9 point. Nikki scores a 9.8 on bars.
Tiffany Tolnay up next, and this may be the best routine Tiffany's done all year. Handstands are all vertical. That was beautiful there. Big Jaeger, enormous amplitude, just like everything else she does. Bailed a handstand for her second D release, satisfying that requirement. And then we get ready for the dismount, a giant full, right on top, to a blind change and a double front. She nails the landing and goes 9.9, and we feel like, okay, now we can get a little momentum going with Grace coming up next.
Now our routines really build. Everyone else in the lineup has scored 9.9 or higher during the season, and we need those 9.9s. Grace is really going hard. She's very aggressive. What a beautiful front stall or half turn. Nice bail to handstand. So far, she looks great. The judges love the composition in this bar routine. Here's her Comaneci. She catches a little bit close and works that handstand. Oh, look at that big arch over the bar. 1/10 deduction for that. And now she dismounts, double layout, and a step on the dismount, and a score of 9.75. That hurts. We needed that big score from Grace.
So now we've still got a shot. Katie Heenan, Kelsey Erickson, and Courtney Coupet still to go. Beautiful handstand work from Katie. Nice toe blind. But it's tough to bounce back when you have a score that goes low ahead of you. All of her handstands are up at this point. I really haven't seen much of a deduction to this point in the routine. That's a great handstand there. She's dead on top. turns very nicely on top of the bar. You do see the legs come apart a little bit there and a slight step forward, 9.85. We really needed another 9.9 out of her there.
Now it's tough. Now we need 9.95 and a 10 to be able to tie the meet or win the meet. We're capable. These girls are capable of doing this. Kelsey scored 9.95 before on the uneven bar, so we know that she's capable of doing it. But the pressure is huge. Florida's just sitting over in the by rotation, watching us compete, knowing exactly what we need to score in order for them to end up the SEC champions. So far, a great routine from Kelsey. All the handstands are up. She looks primed for a big score. And here comes her dismount. Pulls into the bar a little bit and has to take a huge hop forward and scores a 9.825. That was a probably 10th and a half deduction on her dismount.
Courtney Kupets finishing up, and at this point, I think she and everybody else knows what the result's going to be, but she still hangs in there and does a very nice routine. She holds back, and as she typically does when there's been some problems ahead of her, doesn't go to handstand on that overshoot. Hopful has a little bit of an issue there at the end. Well, she's getting ready for the dismount, and in 2 days at this arena, she has stuck every single dismount except that one. Hopped a little bit there and goes 9.925. So we win bars, and we have the highest team score on bars, but it's just not enough to catch Florida. And as you can see, we finish at a 197.175. Florida's at 197.325.
Routine of the week brought to you by Athens Regional Medical Center, and this week's routine is Courtney Kupets on the vaulting event at the SEC Championships, where she sticks a beautiful vault for a score of 9.975. That's routine of the week brought to you by Athens Regional Medical Center.
I'm sorry, honey, I know it hurts. Oh, x-rays, they don't hurt at all. It's like a magic eye that looks inside of your body to see if anything's broken. This is where Hannah came to get her stitches out last year, remember? Of course, honey, Mommy will be with you the whole time. And remember, Mommy wouldn't take you here if it wasn't the best place in the whole world.
Athens Regional Medical Center, a passion for medical excellence.
Drop by drop, pure, refreshing. A trickle becomes a stream. Flowing from the source. Refreshing, fresh, in the store or at your door. Millwood Springs.
Countdown to the NC2As brought to you by Mellwood Springs, and as you can see, Florida barely holds on to that top spot with a .015 difference in the RQS. Alabama remains third. LSU does drop to fifth. And rounding out the top 10 is Oklahoma. And that's Countdown to the NC2As brought to you by Mellwood Springs. Well, there it is. We finished second instead of first, trying to get that 16th SEC title. And the bright spots are, you know, you win 3 events and you lose 1 and you finish second. That's what makes it sting so much. And we had some great things happen with Katie Heenan being Athlete of the Year and tying Courtney Kupets for the all-around title, and really some great individual performances from Tiffany Tolnay and some other bright spots. But that one event, you know, prevents us from winning our 16th SEC title. And so now we've got to get geared back up. We've got to correct the problems more mentally than physically, because as you stated earlier, we've pretty much done the physical work to get it done, but we've got to get these kids on the same page at the right time. We head into regionals, and we've got an opportunity now to really make a statement and come back strong.
You're right, Jay. I mean, it is a huge disappointment, just reflecting back and seeing where we had so many opportunities and the mistakes that we made that we normally don't make. You know, it's difficult, but, you know, we competed with 3 freshmen and relied a lot on 3 freshmen, and a lot of the mistakes were freshman mistakes, and they're going to be more prepared when they get to the national championships because of the mistakes that they made in the SEC. With that said, we'll see you next week with an off-week show, and we will feature Courtney Kupets and Katie Heenan, who tied for the all-around title in the SEC championships, and hear from them and how they feel about our team as we head into NCAA competition. See you next week.
The Jim Dog Show has been brought to you by Mellwood Springs. Mellwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia. By Makar Homes. Makar Homes, built with passion for over 50 years. Brown Arrowhead Clinic. Arrowhead Clinic, Georgia's largest spinal health care organization. By Athens Regional Medical Center. At Athens Regional, we have a specialty. You. By the John Bull Stores of the Bahamas. John Bull, the shopping mecca of the Caribbean. And by Phil Hughes Honda. Phil Hughes Honda, the official car dealer of the Georgia Gym Dogs.